And there we go. We are live already. And it looks like in the background over here, there's some advertisement going on. And we are ready to rock and roll. All right, guys, welcome to season 4 of PPG Grandpa's Paramotor podcast, ClearPropTV, and paratalk.org. This is going to be a great podcast. Well, it's always a good podcast. It's always a great podcast because look at who we have here. We got a lot of amazing people. You know, let's say hi to Paramount USA real quick. Wind Pirate, I'm going to put you on mute. I hear a lot of stuff in the background there. Paramount USA, what's up? Good to see you.
Welcome chatters, welcome viewers. It is Monday night. Thanks for coming and hanging with us. We got all kinds of cool stuff going on tonight. We got Mike Cotter in the house. Woo-hoo. Michiganders rock. Yes, I have to, shout out Michiganders out there. And yeah, just sit back and enjoy the show. Eat your snacks and there you go.
Absolutely. If you want to be on the show, make sure you get up with Linda Anderson. You can find her over at ParamountUSA.com. Excellent.
I always forget that part, but you say it better.
Right. Of course. Yeah, it's just the .com. Right. All right. We also got Will Fly from FlyMiPPG. He is going to be building up that spinning wheel of winning things tonight. So make sure that you say hi to Will Fly, because we are going to be giving away a FlyMiPPG t-shirt, a Vortex Aero travel mug, and a ton of stickers. So make sure that you say hi to Will Fly from willflyppg.com. Anything new on your channel, Will?
Not yet, but I'm so freaking close. So yeah, stay tuned. I'm probably gonna be taking a little trip here in the next week. So my plan is to have it done before then.
Excellent.
Yeah, just
Excellent.
the tip. What is it? 7.0.
Oh man, up to 7.0 already. That's awesome. We also got Wind Pirate PPG in the house. Woot woot. How you doing, buddy? Doing good? Excellent. I put you on mute for a second.
Yeah, I know. This microphone picks up every little movement that's around me. But no, doing great.
Excellent. Good to have you here. And we also got Mike Carter. Mike Carter is the man of the hour. We're going to be actually chatting with him for about an hour. We're going to be spinning the wheel about a half an hour in, and then an hour, and then we're going to be talking for a little bit after the show. So make sure you guys stay here for the entire hour and a half. Mike Carter, welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you having me. It's
absolutely
158 of these and going. So congratulations. You guys have been really rocking it. So appreciate the time you're giving us.
Thank you. Yes, that's right. This is 4 years in, 158. This is episode 158, and we just keep on going. It's just amazing all the time. But Mike, for those of you out there that may not know Mike, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into paramotoring.
So I've been a fan of aviation my whole life. I was one of those little kids that my parents had taken us, my brothers and sisters, down to Florida at a young age, and I was the sibling that was fighting for the window seat of the airplane. And to this day, I'm 6'1.5" or 2, and depending on the day. And I still fight for the window seats. And as I grew older, I was looking for a way to get into aviation, and I would look at everything from the Zodiacs with the fixed wing on it to actually getting my own private pilot's license, which I had about 27 hours logged in when I decided to walk away from it, which I really, quite frankly, kind of regret. But I was spooked at the time, probably not mature enough to do it. And before my instructor took me for a taxi for run up and saying it's your airplane, getting out of it, I decided to walk away from it, which for whatever reason, good, bad, and different, I still think about getting back to. So we'll see. But I ran across paramotoring. Actually, I ran across paragliding when I was on a 10-year wedding anniversary trip in Switzerland. Both my wife and I decided to take a tandem paragliding flight, and it changed me. It was absolutely something that, to me, I still remember just as vividly as if it was yesterday.
And that was so cool. What year was that?
10 years. Oh God, our 10-year wedding anniversary. That had to have been. It's now been 5 years. Married, so
Wow.
you do the math. But yeah, so 16 years ago, I guess. But I loved it so much that I looked at the instructor when we landed, and I'm like, when can we do this again? Can we do this? Like, literally, when can I sign up to do this? And I looked at my wife. I'm like, do you want to do this? And she's like, you know what? I think I'm going to try hang gliding. And I knew right then and there that she didn't have the same visceral experience that I did with it. And sure enough, we signed up the next day and ran off a mountain in Grindelwald, Switzerland. And when I came back, obviously life gets busy, and there was nothing that we could jump off early in Michigan that allows you to paraglide. There's some dunes on the northwest side of the state, but they're not practical, and it's very hit and miss. But I was sitting on the beach 5 years past that event, and we're over at my parents' place in Florida, and two power paragliders go by, about 6 inches off the breaking waves. And I literally got up out of my chair and started running down the beach trying to catch them, to find out what they were. And it turns out they were paramotors. I did some research, and again, life gets busy. 5 years went past that. And on January 1 of 2015, I had some change in my business, my surgical device businesses, just because of Obamacare. And I went from literally an 18-hour-a-day job down to a 0-hour-a-day job. And I basically started looking into getting my going down to Florida and being trained. And I found a gentleman, Don Jordan, down there. And so on February 15th, 2015, I went down and started my training. I was down there for 8-9 days and got my flights in and came back here to Michigan, and the gear sat there on my foyer until I could start flying again in April.
That is so awesome. And you have your own school up there, right?
I do now, yeah. So I started the FlyMiPPG back in 2017, I believe it was. So it was 2 years prior, after my first flights. But man, I tell you, I closed on an apartment on an investment property. So I became a landlord for the first time on January 2nd, 2015. So I lost a surgical device business that was 18 hours. And I gained a 1 hour, 2 hour job that was landlording. When I got back from training of PPG, I said to my wife, I said, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to learn how to fly these butt fans, and I'm going to learn how to become a landlord. And so literally for 2 years, all I did was eat, breathe, sleep PPG. I mean, it became a large portion of me in my life, and still is for that matter. But so about 2 years into it, my buddy said to me, we were down for breakfast, and they said, you should consider being an instructor. And I hadn't even thought about it. And so I noodled the idea for a while and what it looked like. And I decided to go ahead and get back in, or do that, for the fact of I made pretty much every mistake that there is in the book. And I was a bad pilot when I started. And I just didn't know what I didn't know. And it would, I experienced quite a bit of mistakes and broken equipment and learning lessons and all that good stuff. But eventually I finally got it. And when I did, I felt that I had enough to give back to the community to kind of help them in their journey of the sport. So
isn't it nice that when you learn, or when you first learn, and you think, you know what, I'm not going to butt land, I'm not going to sit too soon, I'm not going to turtle. Same with me. The first 5 flights, I think I did all the things I swore I wasn't going to do. But when you have your school now, Mike, now you know what you can tell your students. Like, look, this happens, and don't worry about it. We're going to get through it, and we're going to make sure that you don't do it. Or if you do it, it's not totally catastrophic, right?
right.
So how long have you been actually instructing now?
So this is going into our 6th year of doing it.
6 years. Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, it's been good. We've got the place that we do this at is FlyMiPPG. I kind of call it the PPG Wonderland or Oasis. It sits on 92 acres. It's all grass strip runways, 2,000 feet north, south, east, west. We have a hangar on site where we actually, it's a 4-sided hangar. So 2 of the sides are rented out by guys that are flying ultralights, and then 2 of the sides are rented out by us for for doing demonstration purposes, as well as doing classwork stuff, and it gives you that outdoor feeling. And then we actually literally have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house that sits on site as well. So students that are commuting or that are from far away can stay there, and it really truly works well in that environment, because my instructor, myself, Bob Harris, we actually stay on site the entire time that the students are there. So we'll actually come in a couple days early, just make sure everything's good and ready to go and cleaned up, and we're all dialed in for the students to arrive. But we're there from the time that they get there until the time that they leave. And so it really makes a cool kind of uninterrupted PPG boot camp, if you will. But it's not really a boot camp; it's more of just a camp.
Right, absolutely. Will Fly, is there any questions in the chat or any questions on the panel before we continue?
Not in the chat. So if you guys got any questions for Mr. Mike Cotter, just post them in the chat. We'll get right to them. I'm kind of intrigued, man. I mean, you said 26 hours of.
Yeah, it's a private pilot. Yep.
Well, I mean, the nice thing about that is you pick it up 20 years later and you still get to count those hours. So there's that, right?
Yeah.
But
I've had a chance to fly since then, several times. Actually, I've flown with Travis Burns a few times, and I've got a couple of local friends that are fixed wing pilots as well. So I've flown with them, and you pick it up pretty quick. But I would definitely, for some reason, I feel as if that, or for me personally, that fixed wing flying would be more unsafe than the PPG flying. And maybe it's because you're going so low and slow with the paramotor flying compared to, getting up in a Cessna 182 or something when you're freaking hauling balls, and there's not a whole lot of room for mistakes.
It's definitely a different animal. There's no question about it. But your story, I don't think, is all that unique, because I've heard quite a few times that people, they've started their, getting their license, and then they flew a paramotor, and then all of a sudden, no more interest in the aviation, the general aviation.
Right.
So, and I can't remember who it was. He's a paramotor pilot. He's got a kid, and the kid wants to become a paramotor pilot too, but he also wants to become a pilot. And he said, okay, I'll pay for your paramotor training, but you have to become a pilot. You have to become a general aviation pilot first, because he didn't want it to mess up his, he didn't want to scratch that itch too early, and then all of a sudden the kid's not interested in flying general aviation. So,
well, that's kind of why I haven't jumped back into it at that as well, is because literally the paramotor, it fulfills all of my needs as far as a pilot is concerned.
yeah.
I've trained, hundreds of pilots now, and I would say good, maybe, I don't know, I'm not even put a percentage on it, but a lot of them are commercial pilots, or of course they're private pilots, and every single one of them have said, this is the kind of flying that I thought, or I dreamt of when I started getting into aviation, that low and slow, visceral smells. And I got kicked off.
No, he's just sharing the screen.
I got you. That they wanted to experience, when they got into it, and so I can see that as far as becoming a private pilot, that you're definitely going to want to go that route first before becoming a PPG pilot. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I wanted to get back into aviation myself in some form or fashion, so that's kind of my story. And like you, it has scratched all those itches. So fortunately, because airplanes are very expensive to rent now.
Right.
Dude, it's the coolest logo.
Oh man, thank you so much. That's kind of, I spent a lot of time working on that and trying to, get something that kind of fits the way, I guess we are. It was a little bit of inspiration came from the Aviator, their first original logo, as we used to be one of their alliance members, and when we started our school, that was the logo that they had, and so I do have to give a little credit to those guys, kind of inspiring that. But, yeah.
Were you pretty much self-trained, I guess?
No, I trained with Don Gordon. I don't know if that name rings a bell to you guys, but he was one of the original members that started the USPPA, and I don't know I don't think he's flying. I saw him about a year and a half ago. I stopped over at his house, and he would have been, or still is, the oldest foot launch pilot in the world, I would imagine. I think he's 84 now.
Wow.
Yeah, and so he was one of the originals that did the what was the Florida flying at the compound? There was a name for it.
Yeah. I'll think of it, but I know what you're talking about. On the West Coast?
It was right, basically, yeah. So yeah, it was by Palm Bay, and that's where Don had trained. He trained at the compound.
Okay.
And that's where I learned
Coast, yeah.
actually how to fly. I can't believe Stephen Adair was part of that whole thing that he had passed. And in remembrance of him, they put together a flying. And I apologize, it's escaping me. But
Isn't that Fun and Son?
No.
No.
Shucks. Anyways. And it's not Wings Over Winter. That was Aviators. But regardless. So Don is still actually, he built a house right outside of the compound. And he was training still up until probably a year and a half ago. I just lost touch with him in the last year and a half. So I'm not sure if he is or not. But
well, Don, Slow Day says Don is the man. He is still flying.
oh, awesome. Good.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's an amazing pilot, and his pedigree of aviation is second to none. He was one of the original, test pilots in the Navy and stuff. And then he was a captain. I don't want to say with who. I believe it was American, but I'm not remembering that for sure. But he was a captain for years and years and years. And then he started teaching PPG. And so I found him just doing my research down in Florida in the time that I wanted to do my training, and he was available. And so I jumped on it immediately.
Cool.
Absolutely awesome. Shout out to Serenity Island out there. That's where we're going to be going this next week. Hey, Mike, for those that don't know or haven't been to your school, or maybe is thinking about going to school and it's up north, tell us a little bit about what the student expects when they come in, how everything works, and how long are classes?
Yeah, so we run a pretty strict curriculum of anywhere from, now we've shortened it because I've limited the amount of students that we have. We typically bring the students in there for 6 to 8 days, and usually the only reason they're staying longer is because of the weather anomaly, or because the weather is amazing and we're all staying there and flying together. But it's a full curriculum that we have, a full ground school, 7 different classes that we do, covering everything that there is in aviation, from FAR 103 to airspace to motor maintenance to wing design, you name it, etc. We're up in the morning early, out kiting and ground handling. And when their skills show proficiency, we start to move to motors, putting them on their backs, doing motor sim. We actually have a setup there that's off of if you will, a swing set. We actually sit them in the motor, give them the ability to feel what it feels like with throttle control, bring the motor all the way from 0 to from idle to full power. We run it, their first flights, if you will, through that sim, exactly what it's going to sound like, what they're going to hear from us, what their expectations will be, so that when it comes to actually getting them ready to do their taxi practice and first flights, that they've already seen and heard everything that they're going to usually encounter as their first flying. We typically are flying them, I would say, the afternoon of the 3rd day, if not the 4th on the morning, but that's all based on their proficiency and what's happening. Prior, when we had 3 instructors, we would do 6 students. And in a 7 to 10 day course with 6 students, a lot has to go right, and timing and making sure that everybody gets the right reps for like towing, and making sure that they get enough attention for kiting. And so basically, it became a little stressful, to say the least. And so we're under not only a time crunch, but we're also, have these students' lives in our hands, getting them up and showing them their first flight. So you can imagine with 6 students under that type of time crunch, how many moving parts there are and how quickly you have to just kind of get them in line. Now, we were able to do it and do it very successfully and efficiently. But I found that now with the 2 instructors, just Bob and I, we started out doing 4 students and worked out very well. It was actually very enjoyable. But doing 2 students for a class like that, oh my God, it's so much more fun. It's so much more relaxing. You get to know your students so much better. It becomes more of a personalized experience with them. We can actually personalize the course for them as well based on how everybody's time frame works. So I've decided, well, we started kind of implementing it last year, and this year on my schedules, I've basically scheduled out which classes we're doing 2 students and which classes we're doing 4. And about 60% of them we're just doing with 2 students, and the last 40% we're doing with 4 students. But by the time they leave, they're proficiently flying. They know when, where, how, what time of the day, the rules and regs to fly, and they can literally leave our classes, to fly any paramotor that's out there. Now, we offer a lot of variety of paramotors as well as a lot of different wings. So I don't have any, alliance with just one manufacturer of either. I truly let the student and I sit down and talk, and Bob, to discuss their options based on, really, quite frankly, their skill level, their future flying ambitions, and what they're trying to, become as a pilot, which they probably don't know at that time. But more importantly, getting them into safe, reliable equipment that fits their budget. And so by partnering with a lot of different manufacturers, we've been able to accomplish that for them.
It sounds like you just answered 555's question, do you train on your own equipment? So you have many different manufacturers and wings. I also saw trikes there too. So I assume that you do trikes and trike transitions too?
Yep, we have, for sure. Trike transition is a pretty simple process, quite frankly, as long as the student that's coming to us has a good understanding of ground handling. And being a foot launch pilot, you probably do. So the transition process is really, it's more of just a setup and a mindset and a difference of when you can fly and can't fly. But yeah, that's a pretty quick course and transition to do that. Brand new pilots that want to trike, we recommend that they bring their own trike, just because I have a few different trikes. We do have a few different trikes that are there, but they're used for tandem purposes. And I don't want to teach a new student or have a new student just jump on my tandem rig to go and try to train on his first trike situation. Even though we've taken the student exactly to where they need to be, we've seen some mistakes happen. And the mistakes, quite frankly, on a trike, they're not as forgivable as they are on a foot launch. When you can roll a trike, or you get that trike in a situation where there's a little more wind and gust, and they're not turning the appropriate way, and it blows them over. And so you probably know that if you're training trike as well, Sean. So
absolutely, yeah. We have 3 light trikes, and we're getting another larger trike this next week too. So yeah, I totally understand as far as it's not as forgiving as foot launch, but a lot of people that come in, they seem to have bad backs or bad knees. They want to foot launch, but it just doesn't seem like they're going to be able to. So being able to get them out there and put them on a trike sounds good. What kind of trikes do you recommend for students when they first come in if they want to only do trikes?
You know what? At this point in time, I really don't make a recommendation for them. Other than we'll sit down and talk. We've got a good relationship with Fly Products, with Travis Burns over at One Up Adventure. You can't go wrong with them, but we've used the retractable trikes. We've used the Parajet trikes. We've used pretty much everything that's out there in the industry, but it really depends on that student and what they're looking for. Some like them larger with a little, more protection, where we're dealing with the Parajet trikes. But trikes can be pretty pricey when you get up there in some of the larger units. that are available. We're talking, $18,000-$20,000. So in Michigan, for whatever reason, good, bad, and different, we don't see a whole lot of population that is coming to us with that kind of budget to do that. So, but also it's the way that the type of students that we've been training lately have been more of the younger foot launch group, and that's usually what's coming towards us in our way. Not that I discourage folks that are older or heavier or have bad knees. I just think there's a mindset there, and it's also not something that we put the trike student in with the foot launch students, just because of the differences of weather and when you can fly those students. We ran into a couple of situations where the weather was good for a foot launch pilot, but it wasn't good for the trike student. And unfortunately, the trike students watching everybody else fly, and they're not able to do it yet just because the winds aren't low enough and conducive enough for that training portion. And there's, kind of, I guess, a little bit of some jealousy that happens. And it's hard on us as the instructor to say, I'm sorry, you're not going to fly. All these foot launchers, yeah, they're flying right now, but no, you can't. And so we separate the two now in different classes. So,
Okay.
so I don't have a whole lot of trike training, if you will.
Gotcha. Okay, well, that makes sense.
What I do is one-off situation. So,
Right. Well, we are going to be doing the spinning wheel of Winnie Things, folks, here in just a moment. So in about 4 minutes, Will's going to be putting the spinning wheel on at 7:30. Also, too, it looks like we got a question in the chat. So if Will, you got a question from James?
I do, yeah. James wants to know if you train year round in Michigan.
no, I don't. Our official season kicks off at the end of April and runs through the beginning of October. Just the weather is so unpredictable for trying to get students in. Now, I have done a few one-offs here and there, just from standpoint of today, it's completely flyable. I flew this morning. I flew last night as well, and it's going to be 60 degrees here tomorrow, or Wednesday rather. And so, but that is such an anomaly that it just doesn't happen. And I prefer to have students that come in and I can keep it fresh on their minds. I don't want a week or 2 weeks to go by where they leave us and then come back, and quite frankly, you're having to retrain all the skills and levels that you had already previously, gave to them.
Sure.
I've given wings to guys to take home into practice, and given them certain criteria as far as wing conditions and don't exceed it. And these are the maximum minimums, and go out and practice. And so that when we see each other, you'll be that much further ahead of the game. Well, of course, those wings just sit in the garage and, they don't do anything with them. And so that can be a bit frustrating. So unfortunately, no, I used to go down to Florida and train with those guys and with one-up adventures and tag team with those guys. But right now it's just not working out. I've had a couple of things that I've, business-wise, that I've been trying to take care of on my other part of my life. And so no, but I like to travel, and I just got back from Saudi Arabia doing the scout trip, and I'll head down, more than likely down to Florida or somewhere warm for the next, couple months, and enjoy flying on my own. That's kind of my personal time, but it's not completely out of the question to do that. Depending, it's all on a case-by-case situation for winter training. But
I understand too, it's kind of cold up there and you need a break also. So you guys, we're going to be spinning the wheel here in just a moment. Paramom is going to say hi to everybody on the spinning wheel. And you ready to do that, Miss Linda? You're on mute. You know that, right? You put yourself on mute. Okay, unmute yourself. There you go.
Oh, there I am.
And we'll be talking about that was an exciting trip. It sounded like we'll be talking about that a little later on.
Yeah.
Right after the spinning wheel, we want to hear about your trip to Saudi. It sounds absolutely amazing.
You gotta do spinning wheel.
Got to do the spinning wheel. So Mike is going to give away one of his t-shirts. We also got a Vortex Aero travel mug, and we got a lot of stickers that we're going to be giving away today. So we're going to be spinning the wheel, spinning the wheel, spinning the wheel.
Yeah,
So
can you see that?
no, it's
only
half and half
partial
right
wheel.
now. Only see half of the spinning wheel.
Hold on, we'll get her.
So for those of you that are listening to the show, if you want to come here and actually be part of the live show and have an opportunity of winning something live, I see a lot of people on here, which is awesome. You will be able to be in the spinning wheel of winning things. But if you can't, that's no problem at all. One of the things that you can do is go over to paramotorarkansas.com, get yourself a free account. Make sure you have your mailing address in there. And what we do is throughout the month, we'll just spin our own wheel with the people that are on paramotorarkansas.com, and you'll just get something in the mail for free. You'll be like, what is this? Why did I get this? It's because we just give away free stuff. So make sure you go over to paramotorarkansas.com, get that free account, and you might get something in the mail for no reason whatsoever. All right, Linda, go ahead and say hello to everybody on the spinning wheel of many things.
Okay, as long as I don't kill the names here. Okay, welcome everybody. We got my cat, my kitten's like, what's going on? We got Scott and Angela Garland. We got Slow Days. Hey, Slow Days. Michael Jasper in the house. Susan Ray, what's up? Bill H in the house. Brian Franz, Bonnie Franz. Hi, cool couple. Andrea Rosano, and we got Angela Preslick. Hello, darling. Tony Mr. Vegas. We got Running to the Sky Orange. Yes. Flying Flamingo Jade. What's up, Flying Flamingo Jade? Serenity Island. Hi. And Mr. Dana 54. Para Ninja. Canuck America. James in the house. PPG, the other Nick. A-Lines and Live Paramotor. Welcome, welcome. 555. We got Kramer. I think that's Linda Kramer in the house. Hi, Linda. We got Deweese. Hi, Deweese. Love ya. Kelby Cox. Welcome. John Wayne Cowboy. And we got Mad Sloper. What's up, Mad Sloper? We got another name just rolled in the house.
You're fading out, Linda.
Bumper Fly.
It sounds like you're covering your microphone or something when you're getting close and looking. What was that last name, Linda?
Oh, sorry. It's Semper. I'm trying to see the last name. Semper Fly Dallas. And then James Baville's in the house too. Hi, James.
Yeah, man. And I got your back, Matt Sloper. You're on there now.
Excellent.
There we go.
All right. So
Good luck, everybody.
So that's everybody on the in there. So what Will is doing now is he is shuffling the names. We don't want anyone to think that anything is rigged. However, I do owe Bonnie Franz like a bucket of stuff when she comes over here and trains in April, along with her husband Brian. So, do we have Walter in the house? Walter's not here, so good. Nothing's going to Australia. Whew. I'm still paying off that second mortgage to send all that free stuff to him.
All right. All right, you ready?
Ready when you are.
All right. I'm gonna pick Deweese Milstead.
Sounds like Lift Paramotor might get it too.
What do you think, Linda?
But I don't know, you know, Serenity Island just jumped on here.
Bill
So.
H.
All right, getting
Taking
close
wild
here.
guesses here.
We got the long spin, slowing down a little bit. Past Brian Franz. Susan Ray or Kramer, it looks like.
I think it's gonna be Kramer.
It looks like it's going to be Kramer.
I know.
Susan Ray!
Yay! Congrats.
So Susan Ray, make sure that you have an account, a free account over at paramotorarkansas.com, and you have your mailing address there. Just text me and let me know what you actually let us know in the super chat. What do you want? Do you have an opportunity to get a really cool Mike Cotter FlyMiPPG t-shirt?
She has one.
Does he?
Oh yeah, she trained with us. Her first course down in Florida. In Wachula.
Do you want a second one, or you can get a Vortex Aero travel mug, or you can get a bunch of fun, cool stickers from ClearPropTV.com. Let us know in the super chat. Congratulations! That's always fun to win something. Now we got a couple more spins too, so whatever you want, you get you get to let us know in the super chat what you want. What does she want, Susan? I'll give you like a couple seconds.
One.
I'm just gonna move on.
Feeling the pressure.
But as soon as you let us know, then we're just gonna go ahead and go on to the guest again. So we.
So
can
what
hear
were the
this-
choices again?
So the choices are a cool Mike Cotter FlyMiPPG t-shirt, or a Vortex Aero travel mug. Hasn't been used. Well, maybe no, it hasn't been used. And we got a ton of different type of stickers that we're going to give away from ClearPropTV.com. Hey, what do you got, Linda Anderson? Looks like you got one too. 3-4.
Yes, I did. I love it. I always use it on the show to represent.
There you go. Represent.
Yes. Yeah, please. I have to learn like the microphone thing. So I get so excited. You know me. It's like, so if I just sit back like this and talk, then I'm not muffled. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's better that way.
Yeah.
I see.
I don't know what happened, but it muffled up, which was weird. But
You should know by now when I'm on the show here, you just never know what's going to fly out of my head.
hopefully nothing flies out your head. I mean,
the one night I had the cat knocked the green screen over my head on live TV, and it's all on Monday. It's all good.
It's all fine. Did Susan let us know what she wanted? No? All right. So Susan, you can always text me and let me know what you want. However, because we got another spinning wheel coming up, we kind of need to know what you want, because the next person, if you don't say anything, they get first choice. So if you want first choice, you better put in the super chat. All right, back to Mike. Man, you've traveled all over the place. You have flown all over the place, but the last place that you went to, I want to hear all about. You went to Saudi Arabia. Please tell us about that. How'd you get there? What kind of trip was it? And tell us all the cool details.
Yeah. So actually, hey, Will, I don't know if you want to play that video first.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's kind of pumped up. Brian Holtland, I traveled with him, and got to give him a little shout out. He is hell bent on making some of the best videos that PPG ever seen. And actually, quite frankly, he's really starting to hone his craft in. And so if you haven't subscribed to his channel, I highly recommend doing so, because he is going to start putting out some pretty amazing quality. But this is just a real quick clip of the beginning of kind of what most people see about or think about when they hear about Saudi Arabia. I think Brian did a nice job capturing it. So Will, if you could play that clip real quick.
Fly Saudi Arabia. Here we go.
Of Jamal Khashoggi, a frequent critic of the Saudi regime, inside of the Saudi consulate.
Investigators trying to find out what happened to them.
Also rattled by Saudi Arabia and Iran, who are rivals because the Saudis represent.
In one of the biggest mass executions in decades, Saudi Arabia executed 81 men, which included.
There's probably a lot of stuff in the media that doesn't portray Saudi Arabia in a positive light. I would say, give it a chance. I think you'd be surprised.
Cool. Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
It was kind of the way that we both felt in the beginning about Saudi, and we were both nervous. So we both had some pretty lengthy conversations about it. And the gentleman that you saw there, asking for you to give it a chance. He was the guide. He's Shihab. Shihab is a half Saudi, half American, and he met Miro from Scout Aviation. They've now changed the name from Scout Paramotor, Scout Aviation, but he had met Miro on one of the Iceland trips, and Miro and him had kind of hit it off. And with Shihab's background in aviation and tour guiding, he kept, I guess, knocking on the door of Miro to say, you got to come here to Saudi. You got to do a trip here. It's amazing. Miro be like, we've flown in the desert. We know it. There's a whole bunch of sand and sand dunes, and that's great. But, we're looking for something a little more adventurous, a little more, scenic. And so Shihab went to some of these locations that we flew at, which are 1,200 miles away from his house, and put together a clip with another gentleman named Bastian. And the two of them documented it and sent Miro the vision of what they had for putting together a Saudi trip. And Miro immediately jumped on it. He said, that is absolutely unbelievable and nothing that I expected. And quite frankly, that whole trip, there wasn't a thing that happened that was the way that I would feel that some Americans portray Saudi Arabia. The people couldn't have been nicer. The terrain couldn't have been more beautiful and more diverse. The flying there was absolutely spectacular, to a point of like you felt like you're on the moon at sometimes. You're flying over volcanoes. You're in places that, with a combination of, say, Cydonia, of Utah, Mineral Basin, of, I guess the lushness of some of the southern regions of Arizona, all put together in one spot over one flight. And it was just magical. And the fact that it was so, I guess, people didn't know what or who paramotoring or these pilots were all about. It's the first time they're ever seeing it. It's the first time that there's ever been places that have been flown in that region. And so every time we would land, the sheep herders and their children and families would literally bombard us and just come out of the woodworks from nowhere, and just want to learn, what is this? Obviously not speaking English. And that's why Shihab was such an invaluable portion of this trip, is just the translation process. Certainly in some of the larger city, there wasn't much of a language barrier, but you get outside of that, where we were in camping areas and villages, there was a language barrier. But they were all interested, to a point that they were shaking our hands. They wanted to hug us. I mean, they would just grab you, like want to arm wrestle you, show how strong they are. I'm talking like little boys, 12, 13 years old, having fun. I mean, just unbelievably engaging people. And I think one of the reasons being is the Saudi prince had really is putting an effort towards tourism. And being that has just opened up recently in the last like 3.5, 4 years, it really shows via the way that people reacted to Brian and I compared to maybe just Shihab by himself. Shihab even had said to us, or mentioned, he goes, if I was here by myself with maybe another Saudi, we could get in more trouble than what it is with you guys being here as Americans. You're like my get out of jail free card. Because we are from obviously the Western world, whatever, they look at us as, hey, these guys are going to go back and talk the story of Saudi Arabia. We want to make sure that it's done in a positive light. And here I am today to say that it was unbelievable. Every place that we went, from driving into little smaller sectors that just had a supermarket and a gas station, you walk in there and there's a complete language barrier, but they welcome you with open arms. We had a guy that we were in the bush, we were on motorcycles that had an orange, and literally split up the orange, and you knew that he didn't have anything else. He split up this orange and gave us all of the pieces of the orange And so Shiab realized that, hey, let's give, let me give back to you. And he was so happy that he did, because, he gave away probably his lunch to us. But that's kind of the spirit of that country. It's called, they actually have a phrase for it. It's called Jude, or it's actually pronounced good, but spelled like Jude, Jude. And it's giving to others when you don't have anything other than what you've got on you to give. And just the hospitality there. I mean, you'd be going down the streets and people want you to come into their house, sit down and have tea, and they want to serve you. And it's just unbelievable. It's almost a personal assault, or if you don't accept their giving. But yet at the same time, you want to, because you want to learn about their culture. So this was probably one of my favorite paramotor trips.
Oh, that's really cool.
But quite frankly, paramotoring wasn't the important part of it. It was the people that were there. It was the culture we shared. It was learning from Shiab, learning from Miro. If you don't know Miro very well, do yourself a favor and go on one of those trips, and you'll learn. He's brilliant. He's funny. He's an ambassador of the sport. He builds the Scout Paramotor, which is probably one of the leading brands out there, and really truly does it all for the right reasons. And his experiences and his travel history are just impeccable. The way his adventure flying is just second to none out there, and some of the things that he's done and seen. And so picking his brain and spending that 8 days with him was just phenomenal as well. So
tell us about some of the sites that you flew and things that you saw and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I think probably the highlight for me. So there's a video out there. It's about a 4-minute video. It's on the Scout page when they introduced the trip, but it's also under Bastion. I apologize. I don't have Bastion's last name in front of me, but he did a 4-minute introduction video on the area of flying in Saudi Arabia. And what struck me was the volcanoes down in the southern region, or actually it's kind of midway through the country, but I apologize. I can't pronounce J's and K's and Q's all in one word and stuff. How could you? So I can't pronounce a lot of them. I apologize. So I'm not going to, and I'm not going to bash them because I have so much respect for them. But this area with the volcanoes was simply unbelievable. Now I've launched at Monument Valley, which is just under 6,000 feet, if not 6,000 feet. And we launched at 6,200 feet sleeping on a volcano. And you go and you travel to see these calderas that they're just absolutely breathtakingly huge. And, flying over those was probably one of the most spectacular sights. So we slept out on a volcano. So typically the average day is we would fly a site, relax, enjoy kind of the hangover of the flight, if you will, and share the stories. And then we'd get packed up. And we're talking about breaking down the paramotors, breaking down camp, and loading everything up and driving to another spot and chasing the weather, if you will. But at the same time, there was a skeleton itinerary from Shiab of places that he knows and has flown in the past, so that there was no real surprises or no mistakes that we're making. Because some of the terrain that you get into, it's big boy country, and you need to realize what the risk and reward is when you're flying in some of these areas.
No, you said that you flew over volcanoes. They weren't active, were they?
No.
Okay.
No. That'd be a hell of a thermal.
That's what I was thinking.
How often did they? So this was a pre-arranged trip, basically.
So Scout Paramotor, just like their Iceland trips, they put on 4 back-to-back trips. Matter of fact, the third one is right now underway. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Iceland trips, but they would typically bring 6 to 12 guys every trip, and they would do 3 or 4 trips in a row, because when you're shipping that much equipment and gear and stuff like over, you only want to do it once on the front end and then return on the back end. And so that's the way they did it in Saudi as well. As Miro shipped over 6 motors and all the other equipment that goes along with it. And then they're running 4 consecutive trips back to back, and then they'll ship everything back. So did that answer the question?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, and Tony Marzano was asking about what the security was like, but it sounds like a lot of that was taken care of as far as getting your equipment over there. And
We didn't need any. We didn't need any security. There wasn't any to have. It was Shiab having conversations with, the locals. It wasn't needed. There wasn't any security that's needed. Now, Miro shipped all the motors over because that we were using Scout Paramotors. It's a Scout adventure trip. So that's what it qualifies or falls under if you wanted to actually label it. It would be the Scout Saudi Arabia adventure trip. And so we basically didn't have anything to do with that. Now, there is a fee for the trip, and I'm sure our fee covered, portion of that shipping cost for Miro, because it's not cheap to do that. And there's not like Miro is making much money on these trips. He does it because it pays for his adventure, and him having a good time, quite frankly. And so it also gives us some exposure to the Scout brand, but it also gives, anybody that watches these videos or sees, the Iceland trips, Ryan Southwell doing his amazing photography and videography work, but people see the brand and they associate it with adventure flying and so on and so forth. So it all works in that regard. But
so
yeah,
you're flying their equipment basically.
we're flying their gear, and we had a choice to bring over our wings, which I chose to bring over my own personal wing because you don't want to switch up too much stuff. For me to show up and fly a new wing on a new motor with a new reserve, all put into one component, can it be done? Sure. But why? But why if it doesn't have to be? So I brought over 2 wings, actually. Brian brought over 1, and we flew our own wings. But Miro had the reserves there, putting those on, and yeah, so everything else was pretty much set. We'd go to the grocery store, we'd get food, and we'd cook out in the evenings, and then just relax. Half of the trip was spent camping, so they had all the tents and all the cold weather gear, if you will. We just brought over our own personal sleeping pads, sleeping blankets, or sleeping bags rather, which I really lack on. I found out the hard way. I woke up freezing. A couple of the northern portions of Saudi got down to like 28 degrees. And I realized at the very end of our trip that my sleeping bag was rated for like 45. So I had some cold nights, but half the time you're in tents and half the time you were actually in hotels along the way. And so there was a good mix in that regard. You go to, catch up on the internet and, get a little Wi-Fi, touch base the home and all that fun stuff. So, but we'd go to restaurants. It was, like I said, Shiab having that language barrier covered for us was just miraculous. It was, I wouldn't have done that trip, number one, if it didn't start off with the reputation of Scout Paramotor and Miro, and knowing him and, seeing and watching him through the years, I felt as if I did know him just through his videos without ever meeting. So there was a trust factor there that, hey, I can throw $4,000 to this guy that I've never heard of, have no idea who he is. I never have met him. And I'm throwing $4,000 into Saudi Arabia, and apparently supposed to meet up at noon on this particular day.
Supposedly, supposedly supposed to be. Yeah.
Some guy named Shihab is but faith and the trust in Miro and knowing what he brings the sport and the table, that brought the credibility. But as soon as you meet Shihab, all of that immediately goes away. Matter of fact, it's really kind of a funny thing. I don't know if I should share this, but I'm going to. That first thing he did, he got up and kissed me. That's not part of their culture. Then I'm like, well, maybe it's part of their culture, kissing on either side.
It was on the cheek. It was on the cheek, though, right?
Yeah. He's just like, I want to.
No tongue, right? Gotcha. Hey, I got a quick question. So you're saying that you're throwing $4,000. So is that what it costs
Yeah,
to do the trip? Does that include the airfare, or is that
yeah,
separate?
that's separate.
All
That's
right.
separate.
So the airfare is all on you to and fro, and then $4,000 for the trip. And the trip was how long?
8 days.
8 days.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty nice.
Knowing what I know, I'd pay double.
Wow.
Yeah,
It must have been awesome.
yeah. I'd fly there. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Matter of fact, so as I mentioned, there's 4 back-to-back trips, and on the third or the second trip, the trip immediately following ours, Judson was in that trip. I'm sure we all know that name, and there was a spot open for that trip. Well, Brian and I were scheduled to go to Dubai, and one night we just sat there and started asking about, hey, what about that one open spot? Maybe I'll take it. And Brian's like, well, maybe I'll sacrifice going to Dubai. Maybe I'll stay here and you go to Dubai. And then we're like, we kind of agree that, hey, we're a team. We're sticking together. We'll do it again some other time. But yeah, it's a place that it was literally it's spectacular. Just places you're flying sometimes in dunes, sometimes over volcanoes, sometimes in canyons that had walls that are 1,000 feet tall, and just as further you went along in the canyon, the narrower it got, and narrower it got, and narrower it got. So you had to play your elevation right and climb in and out of those areas. But the floor bed was dried up bedrock, so there was always an out. There was areas in Bajta, it's called. It was kind of our first stop. Matter of fact, ended up being our last stop as well, just because it's real close and central to Tubuck, which is the area you would fly into and fly out of. And we went back to it just because it was that spectacular. And watch Brian's video. He depicts it in a pretty good light. But we've been waiting for Miro and for Shihab to breathe a little air, but they've got all the real footage and the filming and stuff like that, and so that's going to be coming to us here pretty soon. And Brian will be, I know, putting together a nice quality video, and of course, Miro with Scout Aviation, they'll be doing some stuff as well. And I guarantee Judson probably has some unbelievable quality material that he'll post as well. But take a close look at the place. It's worth it. I know for a fact that they will do trips there again next year, if not sooner, but it's a seasonal thing just from the temperature standpoint there, because it gets ugly hot.
It sounds absolutely amazing. Tarno Marzano asked if you got to ride a camel, but we'll have that answer in just a moment, because we're going to be put up the spinning wheel of winning things here in just a moment, because now Susan Ray said that she won lots of stickers, so that's no problem. So we have we still have a ton of stickers. So if you want stickers, that's no problem too. But Mike Cotter is going to give away a FlyMiPPG t-shirt. What color was that?
We've got a couple different varieties, but more than likely you're going to get a red one with our black and blue logo. I just placed an order for some black with some gray logos on. If you want to wait for one of those, they're going to be really sharp. It won't take too long, a couple weeks to get them in. But yeah, you'll have your choice, whatever you want.
Excellent. We're also going to give away a Vortex Aero travel mug. So just like Mike said, if you win the t-shirt, it might be a couple weeks. So, just don't stay at that mailbox just waiting for that shirt to come in. It might take a little bit of while. All right. 2 minutes before we spin the spinning wheel of winning things. And I guess we have enough time to ask, to hear the question. Did you get to ride a camel?
We were offered, but I said, I'm going to stick on my paramotor. I'm not going to get hurt by a camel.
I can't believe you didn't try to ride a camel. That would have been so cool.
I came halfway around the world. I'm not going to hurt myself on a camel.
Kind of hard to explain to your insurance company, wouldn't it?
Yeah. We literally, they're there. They're so approachable. They actually like little puppies. Well, big puppies.
Yeah, like big spitting puppies, right? They spit too?
No. I mean, maybe they didn't spit at us. And the wild ones, literally, when I say wild, there's a sheep herder there, and that's it. Other than a sheep herder, they can roam around the country freely. Matter of fact, they cross roads. Like we hit deer up here in Michigan, our cars, and they'll get in the roads. Well, guess what? You'll hit a camel in the road because they just leisurely will cross the road. But
And in Australia, you hit a kangaroo, right? So it just depends on where you go. You get to hit
exactly right.
different animals.
Yeah, you would see the bones of a camel that had passed, and they're just monstrous. I mean, the heads are huge. But yeah, so we actually, the first day that we got there, we went to this place called Bodstad, and we were just kind of waiting for the winds to calm down, and we were just kind of getting familiar with the area. We were picking out a camp, and literally I turn around and there's two camels that just walked up on us, and they're just looking at us. And Shiab goes, grab something to feed them with. And I think I grabbed some potato chips. And I just held up my hand with potato chips. And sure enough, they just come right up and just gently, nibble at them with not their teeth, but their gums, their lips. And, if you had some other stuff, they would stick around and let you feed them. But as soon as you ran out of food or whatever, they didn't have it, they would just slowly walk away. I mean, it was amazing.
So I know that you do towing at your school. Have you ever done a camel tow?
Oh, that's not good. Nothing about that that's good.
Well, I mean, camels have toes, cows have hooves,
Oh boy.
All right. So, Will Fly, you ready to do the spinning wheel?
Yes, I am.
All right.
I'll never trust a skinny chef. Shane, what's going on? Walter is in the house too, which means guess what, Sean? He's on the wheel.
Wow. He's on the wheel.
All right. Let me and then I did want to say something afterwards or whenever. Let me pull this bad boy up if I can.
Well, it sounds like you had an amazing trip over there, buddy. That sounds absolutely awesome. When's the next trip that you're going to take, Mike?
I've been, believe it or not, looking into working with Miro and seeing if we can't put together something in Africa.
Wow. So you're going to be putting together something, not Scout?
I would help kind of point the directions of, so I've been doing some research on it. Let's just put it that way, but it would be under the Scout trip. I wouldn't do it without Miro. Matter of fact, he has so much experience in this. There was no way that I would just try to pull something like that off on my own. I would want to learn. I'd want to apprentice. I would be there to help. But for me to actually pull something like that off, no, I'd want the support of somebody that's got that background and that experience to do that. Now, yeah. Brian, I've actually decided that probably this October, we're going to start doing some trips to Utah, just because I know that place at the back of my hand. And that would be something that could easily be done and managed with a small group. So
that sounds like way too much fun.
And you'd spend so much time, taking care of the preparations and figuring things out that you really wouldn't be able to enjoy yourself,
Right. The thing about it, doing something like an Africa trip would require that I would go down there or go there a month beforehand and scout the area like Shihab did and Bastion did prior to us going to Saudi Arabia. You're right next to Victoria Falls, the place that I'm looking at, and there is a community that's already there, an ultralight community. And so you would definitely need to develop those relationships and pick off of their experiences of where and when and rules and protocols and everything else that goes along with doing something like that. Because the last thing you want to do is fly into a country that, you're bringing customers in and you're shut down because you didn't, cross your eye or dot your I's and cross your T's and get the appropriate protocols squared away.
So, I like how he said when he goes over there, he has to scout it out because he has to scout. I like that. That was good. Hey, Linda, do you want to say hi to everybody real quick before we spin the wheel? And we're going to spin the wheel twice. Somebody's going to win some stickers. Somebody's going to win Vortex Arrow travel mug. Somebody's going to win Mike Cotter FlyMiPPG t-shirt. So we're going to be spinning here, and then we're going to be going into the after show where we're still going to be talking about paramotors, but we're probably going to end up stop talking about 8:30 my time, which is Central.
I did have something I wanted to bring up though.
Oh yes, sir. Go ahead, Will.
No, I mean, after the spinny wheel or whatever.
Okay.
But Linda was gonna read, you gonna read them, Linda?
Okay. Do I
All right,
sound
go
okay?
ahead.
I'll just
Yeah,
sit
go-
back here and say oh.
Yeah, go
Oh,
ahead.
I'm like, really?
For those of
Like-
you that are listening to the show, Will
I was-
Fly hit the shuffle a million times, so you couldn't see the names.
I was never a speed reader.
That was awesome. All right.
Go right ahead.
I was a speed racer. Just ask my mom, but I was never a speed reader. Okay, we got Michael Jasper, A-Lines, 555, Matt Sloper, Semper Fly Dulles, Paraninja Slow Days, Scott and Angela Garland, Serenity Island, Flying Flamingo Jade, Lift Paramotor, Mr. Dana 54, Walter Priori. What's up, Sugar? Never trust a skinny chef, Shane, John Wayne, the cowboy, Bill H in the house, James Baville, Bonnie France, Brian France, Angela Presley, Susan Ray, PPG, the other Nick, Tony Marzano, Paul Marzano, Kelby Cox, hey Kelby, Deweese Milstead, the lovely Deweese, and Andres Rosano, James, Jeremy, hey, what's up, Jeremy? Ryan R. Rides, Can Cook America, and I probably ruined that one, and Run Into the Sky, Orange, and then Kramer, which I think it's Linda Kramer, the lovely Linda in the house.
Yep.
Oh.
That's it. What's up,
Excellent.
Andres Rosario?
I want to know. I want to know how you did that shuffle so many times like that, and Bonnie and Fran still are together. So you know their marriage is really tight.
It is. Must be.
You can't even
That's
be
cute.
shuffled apart in the spinning wheel of winning things.
Yeah. If I do it again, if it
Love
does
it.
that.
Good luck, everybody.
I split them up. Yeah. Oh,
Did we
well.
get them
No,
all?
they're still, no, they're still together, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's weird. Huh. I don't know.
That's a strong marriage.
Yeah, it is.
All right. So did you want to spin or did you want to say what you wanted to say,
Well,
Will?
Yeah, real quick, there was an exchange between I think Tony Marzano and I can't remember. I'm so sorry, but they were talking about how it's unfortunate how paramotoring is such an expensive sport or a rich man's sport, but really, if you think about it, it's not so much, because paramotoring for a lot of people, myself included, it's a therapy, and therapy is expensive. You know what I mean? So when the why is strong enough, the will find a way, and so just have to keep that in mind. And yeah, I mean, nothing worthwhile that I've ever had has been inexpensive, but it's been worthwhile, and it's something to keep in mind. And
That's
that
a
would
great
be a great
statement,
time.
Will. Nice way to say that, Will. That's absolutely correct, and that's how people should look at it, especially this sport in particular, and aviation in particular. If cost and money is your main objection to do this, then maybe it's not the time right now for you. Maybe you should wait until it is, more so in your cards. But it has such more of a meaning and a life-altering result than actually spending $1 on something. The personal gratification that I personally get out of it, I swear to God, I call it my chapel in the sky. And it's a whole lot different than buying a car or buying a motorcycle or buying a new set of skis. For me, I walk away from every single one of my flights and I feel better mentally and physically, just literally feel better. So
Absolutely. I totally agree.
I don't think so. Not
It
for
was
me.
Para Ninja who was bringing that up. So yeah, right on, Para Ninja. So
Hey, Will Fly, real quick before you spin. I know that you fly airplanes and paramotors. Now, what's the difference in cost? Just because, they said that, paramotors is the rich man's sport. Flying an airplane is a little bit more expensive. So tell me, if you took out your airplane and flew for an hour, about how much gas are you going to use in dollars? And how about if you fly a paramotor? What's the difference?
Well, first of all, when you rent an airplane, and I haven't flown an airplane since I started flying paramotors because I found no need to. But normally when you rent an airplane, you rent it wet. So if you rent an airplane for an hour, say it's $150, and that's probably on the cheap side now because it's been a long time. That's $150 an hour. So gosh, 2 hours would be a prop. You know? So,
Yeah.
so I mean, if you're looking at it, if the only reason, in my opinion, that anyone should seriously consider flying an airplane or learning to fly an airplane is A, it's just something that they've always wanted to do and that's been one of their life goals, or B, they want to, you know, pursue a career in aviation. Other than that, if I mean, paramotors have it beat, because most people, like you were saying, Mike, they want to get into flying to experience the feel of flying, and kind of hard to do that when you're surrounded by a bunch of aluminum, you know.
Mhm.
So
That's true. And if
that
you're
being
flying-
said, it is a worthy goal. All right, I mean, general aviation is awesome, and it's an awesome group of people.
if you fly an Atom 80, then even your gas is even cheaper, you know, with the Atom 80 because it just barely sips that gas.
Yeah, there you go.
You could probably go fly for $4 if gas is $4. You know, I mean, you can fly for an hour for $4. A lot different than flying an airplane. All right, ready when you are.
All
Mr.
right, I'm gonna
Fly.
shuffle just a couple more times, and here we go.
Brian and Bonnie broke up.
What? I'm gonna go with Kramer.
Michael Jesper.
Linda's waiting for the wheel to
I'm gonna
stop.
say Mad
I
Slow.
know. I just picked a name. Paraninja maybe. Serenity Island. Kangook America? Susan Ray.
No way.
No. Is it Mad Sloper?
I don't know, it might
And
be.
Sloper Bill H.
It'll be close.
Oh, it's gonna be Bill H. It looks like
No,
Mad
it's
Sloper.
Did I call it or did I call it?
I don't know. Did you call it?
I did. I said Mad Sloper.
Well, what does Linda win?
I
Well,
know.
Mad Sloper, you let us know in the super chat what you want. You have a choice of stickers, a Vortex Arrow travel mug, or a very own Mike Carter FlyMiPPG t-shirt. So let us know what you want. And obviously, if you get the travel mug, I'm going to throw some stickers there anyway. So you let us know what you want. Let's go ahead and spin the wheel again for whatever Mad Sloper doesn't want.
Wait, that's 3 times in one show. That's
I
amazing.
know.
Last week, I think it was last week, I guessed Travis, and then Travis won. Woo.
I'm glad that you're doing the shuffle. That way no one can say it's rigged anymore.
Tony Marzano can stay. He'll say that.
Careful.
Marzano. He's awesome. I'm gonna say Angela Presley,
Say,
Flying Flamingo
I'll say
Days,
Tony
Flying
Marzano.
Flamingo.
I already said it.
Slow
Oh,
Days,
Tony.
555, Run Into the Sky. Let's see who's gonna do that. Who's gonna win? Kangook America?
Ooh, it's got Jasper or John Wayne.
Cliffhanger.
Oh my goodness! You know, if John Wayne win, he's just gonna give it to Bill H again.
Cowboy.
John Wayne. All right. Hey, John, if you want to, we can spin it again, or you can, you know, get what you want, or you can give it away to anybody you want to. It's totally up to you.
Let us know, John.
So let's go ahead and spin it one more time for some stickers.
All right.
So whoever this lands on, you get stickers. And if you already got stickers, well, you're going to get some more. Stickers are great. Everybody loves them.
Hey, let's say Jeremy.
I'm going to say flyintothe.sky.org.
Woo. Run into the sky.
Yeah, run into the sky. Sorry.
I think Linda said run into the sky orange.
Yeah, she.
Well, I couldn't because it's yeah.
Oh my
'cause
gosh, look,
it off.
it's run into the sky. Oh, right back to Bonnie Franz. Looks like we're gonna put it in Brian's bucket. Nope, it's gonna go all the way to Semper Flydillis.
Yes.
Boop, boop.
Woo!
Congratulations.
Watching you guys do this, at first I'm like, why do they spin this wheel thing? It's weird. It's like these gifts aren't that great, but watching the reactions of just the three of you make it all worth it.
It's like flying a paramotor.
You guys are so excited about this. I'm like, no, I get it.
It is.
John
We
says
need
spin
like
it
the
again.
sound effect. We need a sound effect in there, like when they win, like, you know, the crowd goes, ooh.
We do. It
No,
is.
just you guys are great. Just the sound effect.
See, that's why you have me on the show. The PR has all these great ideas.
Did John Wayne say spin again?
Yep.
All right. Did Matt Slopers let us know what he wants?
What do you want, Matt Sloper?
Because if you didn't, then whoever wins this one gets to pick first.
Well, Semper Fidelis.
Semper Fidelis won stickers.
Stickers. Okay.
So
So
Matt Sloper gets first pick, but if we spin John Wayne's second spin, whoever wins, whoever puts their what they want first wins. So it's between Matt Sloper and whenever you spin. So Matt Sloper, you better let us know what you want, or
Going once, going twice.
whoever wins this one.
Matt Sloper's not here, is what Tony Marzano said.
He left the
Yeah.
building.
Let me see if let's see. Well, I mean,
Matt
he's
Sloper,
in the chat.
did you leave the building? Looks like he did.
Well, I tell you what, then let's go ahead and spin it again for
Matt
the-
Sloper went to eat.
So let's go ahead and spin it again. This is the spin from John Wayne. So this is John Wayne's gift to whoever, and we'll let them get the FlyMiPPG shirt. And if Matt Sloper gets up with me this week, we'll send him the Vortex Aero travel mug. That's fair, right?
Yeah. You ready?
Ready
I'm
when-
gonna say Kelby.
Yeah, you gotta wait till it starts. Now you just shuffle again.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I forgot the rules.
It was like it was shuffling. I thought it was spinning with all the names going
Not
like that.
Speak the name till I shuffle.
Once again, if you're listening to this after the live show, go over to paramotorarkansas.com. Create yourself a free account. Make sure you have your mailing address. And sporadically throughout the month, we just
It's
randomly
easy.
send some stuff out
Easy.
for fun.
That's right.
I'm gonna say A lines.
Or Walter. Walter, if you win, you get something digital.
Ah,
A-lines. All right.
A-lines.
Totally rigged.
Woo.
Totally rigged. A-lines
Alright,
won.
Congratulations, all you winner chicken dinners.
Right on.
All right, so A-Lines, Mike, how is A-Lines going to get up with you so he can?
Ironically, he just posted to me in the chat if I was going up to Porchport this summer. Memorial. I am, but I'll have him just email me or reach out to me on Facebook, and regardless, we'll figure it out. So.
All right, A-Lines, you hear that? So congratulations, buddy! You won a T-shirt.
Yay. Well, Will, you don't
Alright.
have anything to do right now, so we can do the thumbnail.
Oh,
All right, let's do the thumbnail. That sounds good.
I thought we gotta do it quick here. I mean, I gotta be on my game here tonight.
I don't have my. Oh, wait a minute! I do have my glasses. Linda took off hers, and I'm taking it from her, and I'm putting it on me. There you go. I'm wearing Linda's.
Okay.
And look, Mike is doing the same thing. Come on, Linda, put your glasses on.
Oh no.
You know, we can take a screenshot of this conversation before you took them off, and that's a screenshot with.
Look at me.
Hey, look, Will got his on. Come on, Linda.
I'm arguing with the boss here.
Linda, look, everybody has their glasses on.
all right, you
There we
ready?
go. All
There
right.
she goes. You look
Come on,
good in this
Linda.
glass.
Come on, Linda. Put them on. Come on.
Everyone's waiting for you.
We'll put them on, Linda.
Oh my god.
Yay!
Why?
All right.
Great.
Everybody has glasses.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, they're gonna be
One.
all reflective.
Oh,
1, 2, 3. There we go.
excellent day. I love it. Everybody finally got glasses on.
So much fun.
Oh, the pressure, the pressure.
It only took 4 seasons, 4 years for you to do that.
I'm traumatized.
That is awesome. Well, congratulations. So Susan Ray won some stickers. Congratulations, Mad Sloper. If you get up with me and you know that you did win, so get up with me. Text me at 501-747-3558. Let me know that you won and that you do want the Vortex Aero Travel mug, and we'll send it to you. A-Lines won the t-shirt. Congratulations.
Cool.
Shirt, and Semper Flydillis won some stickers too. So make sure you get up with me and we will send those out to you right away.
Yes. Hey, Mike, are you going to Torch?
Of course.
In May? Okay, save me a shirt.
Okay.
I
can do that.
Okay.
What size are you?
Probably, I don't know if they run big, how big they run, but probably just a small.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I will be there. I'm going to take my second tandem. Whoop, whoop.
Very cool.
Yes, I know. Can you tell? I'm counting down the days.
Is Erik, do you have it scheduled with Erik, or
yes.
Are you looking for a Sherpa?
Yeah, taking the tandem with Erik and Jade.
Awesome. So they're definitely coming up.
Yep.
I guess over for them, but good.
So when is that fly-in?
It's Memorial Day weekend.
Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
I don't have a calendar or anything. What day is that? Do you know what that day that is?
Monday.
You got me. You got me, buddy. You got me.
It's a Michigan thing. That's how we say. Well,
was
it's
it.
a Monday.
It's the last
Right
week.
there, it's a Monday. Right, gotcha.
Yeah, that's right.
Right there, it's a Monday. Gotcha. I
Yeah.
know how that works.
Right, it's right
I'll
there.
I'll look for that later. You got me. That was just too
Last
good.
weekend in May, Sean.
Okay, last weekend of May, I won't be able to make it. I'll be on our cruise since we lost a couple of years because of COVID. My wife and I haven't been able to go on cruises, so we booked 2 this year. So we'll be going in the first part of June, and then we're going to be going to Alaska this year also. Anybody ever been to an Alaska cruise? I'm
actually taking one this year as well. With my father's turning 80, his 80th birthday, and so we're going as a whole family. But no, I've heard spectacular things, so I've not, but looking forward to it.
When are you going?
I think they want to go in the summertime. Sometime they haven't booked it yet, but
they haven't booked it. Okay.
Yeah, it'll be sometime in the summer.
I was going to say, wouldn't that be neat if we booked the same cruise?
Yeah. Hey, I've seen stranger things happen.
I know. Bring a shirt, right?
There you go.
I got you.
That is awesome. So we just got a couple minutes left. It was really nice that you came on the show, Mike. We appreciate you. Your stories were awesome. I can't believe how fast this time went. Will Fly, thank you so much for that, doing the spinning wheel, winning things, Paramom, everything that you do in the background, including saying hi to everybody in the spinning wheel. We definitely appreciate you. Man, I can't wait
practice. I'm going to practice. I'll just, write down names on a paper and I'll practice, practice the name.
Go back on the video and then reread everything again, right? Practice it that way. Run into the sky orange. There you go. I love it. That's awesome.
Isn't that that's what it was, right? No?
Org.
Oh, well, the end of the OR, it was like kind of, the screen was kind of cut off. Well,
they got you too.
Blame it on me.
We'll blame it on Mike, because it's Memorial Day right there. And
yeah, also new fly for Gauge in Bowling Green, Florida on June 8th through the 11th. Check it out. It's an awesome site to fly.
See, everything went right around that cruise. I'm sorry, guys. I really wish I was going to
did it on purpose, Sean.
We all changed this.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Man, this is great. For those of you that may know, and those of you who may not know, if you watched the video, the little trailer at the beginning of this podcast, I'll be taking a cancer patient down to Florida to do a tandem on a PPC. And while I'm down there, I'm going to be picking up a tandem rig also and getting my BFI from ASC.
Awesome.
You got your BFI from ASC. Is that what I saw on your website, Mike?
I did. Yeah, through Travis Burns and One Up Adventure, Kyle Mooney. Yep. Those guys, they do a rock star job with that. So I'm not sure who you're going with, but yeah, it's great.
Excellent. Well, I had an amazing time talking with you guys. Been amazing talking with Mike. Mike, dude, your adventures are crazy. That's just amazing what you did. I mean, it sounds awesome, and I wish that we had more time because you went on more adventures than this, obviously, since you've been flying since 2015.
Yeah, quite a few. But that's kind of how the reason I got into paramotoring, because I knew that it offered this kind of adventure travel and trips, and it's a portable machine. Why not take advantage of it and go travel with it?
Especially when you're going on these trips where, Scout is giving you brand new stuff to use in a different country. You don't have to bring your own. How awesome is that?
That's very
cool.
Absolutely. And it's
Very
accessible to everybody. I mean, yeah, I did it and it's awesome, but so could you. And you could do it tomorrow if you wanted to and sign up for this stuff. It's available to all of us. And I highly recommend taking advantage of it because they are trips that really bring a deeper, richer meaning to this sport in every one of them that you do. So, and the skills will grow exponentially than flying around your local LZ every single flight,
Probably. What kind of skills do you need to have to go onto one of these flights? I mean, do you need to have like at least a PPG-1? Do you need to be flying for at least a year? I mean, is there any requirements?
Yeah, so you would definitely want to be in the higher intermediate and above category. You want to be able to take advantage of the flights that are there. And if you're there and you get there and the nerves are kicking and you're stumbling and you're missing flights because maybe your skills just aren't honed in and you're not, current with your launches and landings, then you're going to miss out on a lot of the adventure. But so you want to make sure that, just for your own sake, that you're dialed in and you have a good understanding of what you're getting into as well. Just speaking with Miro on the differences between the Saudi trip compared to, say, an Iceland trip. The Iceland trips, you were putting up a little more risk as far as where the outs were on times. Whereas it always seemed very, very safe to Miro, he said, with the Saudi trip. There was always outs, there was always landing spots. Even though some of the territory appears as if it's really extreme, below us, there's always a spot that we could have landed out. So just some differences there. But so just do your research, talk to others, and do a really good, understanding and introspective look at yourself and your skill level before you embark on something like that. But, intermediate and above, you would be just fine. So.
Okay, excellent. Well, tell us real quick, how do we get up with you at your school? When do you book? What's your .com? And tell us all that fun stuff real quick.
Yeah, thanks. We're booking now, and it's FlyMiPPG LLC is our website. So .com. So FlyMiPPG LLC.com is our website. You can find me on Facebook under the FlyMiPPG page, or you can find my personal page there as well, just under Mike Cotter. YouTube, I think it's listed. I don't know if you're adding that as well, but don't subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's awful. Matter of fact, I have a video on there why my videos suck. So I do it just for myself and for, when I'm 80 years old and drooling on the couch or whatever, looking at stuff, I can look back.
Look at how young I was.
Like, I will give a plug because I told him I would. Take a look at Brian Houghton's site and his website off of YouTube, rather, excuse me. And I believe it's just Brian Hoatlin, Hoatlin. So he's putting out some good quality videos. So I wanted to give him a little loving, as I told him I would. Plus, we have a bet on how many subscribers he can get by the end of the month, which is a whopping 260.
So, wait, you got a bet? You got that he can get what now?
So when we're sitting at breakfast in Dubai one morning, he gets a wild hair saying, you know what? By the end of the month, in 4 months, I'm gonna have 1,000 subscribers. I'm like, why are you gonna do that? He's like, well, I just, whatever, I want to. I'm gonna start putting together more videos. And then he looked at my channel. I've had this channel for 8 years and I've got 260 subscribers. And he said, by the end of the month, he's going to beat me in subscribers. And I said, dude, I will start asking people to unsubscribe to my channel and subscribe to you so you can be there quicker. And so it's kind of a running joke with him and I. And he calls me like every day and tells me, I got 3 more. I got 3 more. He's up to like 190 right now or something like that. So
wow, I'm almost up to 1,000 subscribers too.
Are you? Yay.
Yeah,
What are you going to change one thing in your life with 1,000 subscribers compared to 100?
No, I actually have more than 1,000. I was just being funny.
Do you really?
Yeah, he's got over 20,000.
Yeah, close to 25,000.
On YouTube?
Yeah.
Are you monetizing it?
Yeah.
Do you make it money?
A little bit.
How much?
It just gives me a little bit of fun. It gives me enough so I can buy stuff and send it out on my channel.
And take cruises to Alaska. And
what did he do last month? Will, how much did he make last month?
who?
Will, how much did he make on his YouTube channel last month?
I don't know, because I don't monetize my own.
Oh.
Yeah,
All
I make like I said, yeah, I make enough where we can do the podcast, you know, so I'm paying for the podcast, I'm paying for the Zoom, I'm paying for different things around here that we can give away, you know. So I mean, you know, I tried to just put it back into this and, you know, just have fun with it, you know.
Yeah, I could say it's not much. I mean, you know, it's not gonna make someone rich. You know what I mean? It's just so, and anybody who can understand the YouTube algorithm, they're pretty smart cookie.
That's right.
Just gotta hang out on Robert's on the paragliding talk show more often, Sean, and then you'll see, like, you'll be like, how does he do this? Because then I have to brag, you know, on my son.
Of course.
He just on paraglidingtalk.com. Yeah.
All right, you just use your paraglidingtalk.com, so I'm not going to go back to you now. Okay, you just use that all up. I'm just kidding.
I got to give you kudos. 20,000 subscribers. That's a boatload of people.
25,000.
My bad. 25,000.
Jeez, Mike, come on.
I average between 300 and 500 subscribers a month.
Oh my God, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, I know. I'm an old grandpa. Who the hell wants to subscribe to me? But they do.
Well, kudos, because between Brian and I, we're just laughing. Like, I don't have any ambition of doing that, nor is my quality material very good either. So it doesn't warrant me having more than 5 subscribers. That would be me, my parents, and my wife, and my brother maybe. But
I may have a bunch of subscribers, but no one really watches my videos. I don't know why they subscribe to me.
That's awesome.
Maybe I'm just so cute.
It's because your .com skills.
Oh, there it is.
That's what it is. Yes, the .com.
A nice skill to have.
Well, Mike, real quick, tell us your school's URL real quick.
Yeah, again, sorry, you're changing gears on us. It's FlyMiPPG LLC.com. So
excellent. And thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Yes, thank you, Mike.
You are incredible. Had a blast. I loved it. We also got willflyppg.com, and he helped us out in the background. He finds all the different questions and he lets us know. He also loads up that spinning wheel Winnie thing. So Will Fly, thank you so much for what you do. We definitely appreciate you. So tell us about your YouTube channel and what you do on Tuesday night with Skinny Chef Shane.
Okay. So you can check out my channel, YouTube, just search for Will Fly, or you can go to willflyppg.com. Just a bunch of tips, some corny humor, and try to make people smile. Tomorrow night is Paramotor. Just had a brain fart.
Paramotor Hangout? Paramotor Hangout.
You've been hanging out with me, Will.
Someone shuffled it. So no, Paramotor Hangout, 8 p.m. Eastern. It's Mark McElroy, Shane, and myself. We get together, and it's just like hanging out at a campfire at a fly-in. We talk about paramotors or whatever else comes up. So yeah, come hang with us.
Excellent.
It's free.
It's free.
It's free this week.
It's free this week. Oh, you got to go over to ppgshane.com.
That's right. ppgshane.com will take you right there.
Absolutely. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and that bell notification if you haven't done so already. And also on Wednesday night, you got to go over to paramotorgirl.com. That's Flying Flamingo Jade. And then once again, Paramom USA, you got a famous son. Go ahead and let us know that. .com.
Yes. If you hear that noise in the background, my kitty, he's got one of those toys where the ball rolls around in a circle, you know, like in a big plate. And so he's playing. Now he's keeping himself entertained or whatever. I should say. You can find me on paraglidingtalk.com on Thursday nights with your host, Robert Michaels. And he always has awesome show, awesome guests, and everybody always jumps in the chat. And it's a lot of fun. It's super fun. And then we have Sean that does the spinny winnie wheel. And then Will Fly likes to hang out in the after show with us, and we all just hang out and talk about stuff. So yes, please join us on Thursday night, paraglidingtalk.com.
Excellent. And also too, there's another show that we learned about on Friday nights. Does anybody remember that one?
It's the vaping.
Right. Yeah. Our own Scuba Steve does that over at paramotordude.com. So you might want to check that one out.
I checked it out last Friday. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. He's pretty good. Yeah. He talks about vaping and talks about paramotors. So here's the thing. Last week at the very end of the show, we had that code, that word, that phrase. The phrase that pays. I think that's already been used on TV, but we're going to use it anyways. Does anybody remember that phrase that pays? The first person that puts in the super chat wins. What do we win? We have 3 Valentine's Day cards, and it's anywhere from $25 to $100 gift card that's in here. I'll send it out. I don't know which one is which because I sealed them. I don't know which one is which, and I'll send one out. You could have anywhere from $25 to $100 gift card that you can use over at paramotorarkansas.com. So phrase that pays. You guys remember what it is in here in the super chat?
I don't remember myself. I hope you wrote it down.
I remember because we talked about it so much. I'll put it in our chat. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
All right. Anybody say it yet or any guesses? Let me go over here and check it out real quick. See if there's any guesses. Guess.
I got one for this week.
All right. I don't see anything. I see Scuba Hangout. We don't do Valentine's Day here at this house. Just saying. Okay. Well, if we don't have anything in 2 minutes, I'll just let you know what it was, and then we will go on and maybe come up with another one. All right. So anyway, thank you again. Definitely appreciate you coming on the show, Mike.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. We'll see you out there soon. Hopefully we can share some sky, fly with you. I met you once before over at where were we? We're at Moonshiners, I believe.
Yeah.
I saw.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when my trike wheel fell off.
What are you gonna do?
It was a real pleasure, Mike. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate your time.
For sure, Lindy. I'll see you up at Torch in a couple of months, and then Will, I know I'm gonna randomly run across you as well at some of these fly-ins. So
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, you're welcome to hang out with us anytime on Mondays, Mike. If you're just kind of chilling out, jump in the Zoom.
Thank you. So
We're here.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate what you do.
Absolutely.
Thanks. Thank you.
All right. Well, I don't see anybody that said what the phrase that pays. Who wants to say what the phrase that pays was? And I'm sure as soon as we say it, you guys are going to remember it from last time.
Oh, do you want me to say it?
Yeah, let me say it.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't see anything. So yeah, go ahead and tell us what it was, Linda.
Barf bag.
Barf bag.
Barf bag. Remember?
So
barf
rude.
bag because
So
of the
rude.
barfing off the tandem.
That's
trike.
right. You got that off because you got that off of Robert's show.
Yeah.
When Robert showed his video
Freaking great.
when he went on his first tandem. Yes. Well, that dude was doing all crazy stuff. Yeah, when he got sick. And Robert's just like, he kept showing that video on his show, or whatever, on the private show or whatever, and he was so proud of it.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, Mike, it was just like 5 minutes of him contorting his face. I mean, you could tell it was coming, but he kept a smile on his face the whole time,
I know.
That was great.
I know. And I was like, did you encourage him to do all those spinny things? And he goes, yeah. I'm like, well, then, God. No wonder he
All
got
right.
sick.
Will, I do like what you posted. I do like that. I think that's a good one. How many people we have left in the that's watching?
Now we are down to 24 and 16 thumbs up.
Awesome. Awesome.
Thank
Anybody
you,
that
thank you,
can give us
Jack.
those thumbs up. If you want to give us thumbs down, make sure you press it twice. All right. So let's go ahead and make the phrase that pays. Will, do you want to just go ahead and say it? I think it was a great one.
Oh, are we like not? Should I say it out loud now?
Well, should we make it to where you have to listen to the show to hear it?
Oh, that's up to you. Okay, I can do it right
Instead
away.
of watching it, do you want to say it now, or do you want to wait until we just have it on the audio part?
It's completely up to you.
Well,
Because the audio guys are audio mostly because they probably can't make the live show.
all right. So the phrase that pays for next week that wins something neat
It will be camel.
Camel. Camel is the
Camel
phrase.
toe.
Oh, that's even better. Let's
Yeah.
change.
Now remember,
Camel
it's got to
toe.
be camel toe. Has to be TOW. Like
Yeah,
you're towing
okay,
the
that's
camel
close.
up. All right. So I mean,
I'm writing it down. Okay.
yeah,
Sure.
not the hoof of the camel, but
No.
the
No.
towing it up in the air with a paramotor wing. That's what
Right.
this is about. The camel toe.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. All right. On that note, I wish you all I wish you all a very happy day, happy week, and we'll see you next week on PPG Grandpa's Paramotor Podcast, ClearPropTV, and paratalk.org. Good night, y'all. Peace out. Fly safe. And we'll see you tomorrow at PPG Shane's Hangout. And then who knows from there, right?
All right.
See you.
Good night.
Cheers. Peace. All that fun stuff. All right.